money do you have in your pocket? How much money do you have in the bank right now when you file the FAFSA? Okay. Child support received for the last complete calendar year. So that goes on as an asset. So if the household providing information received child support for any person in the household, that goes there. And again, this is a tricky one on the FAFSA because it could differ based on the date that you filed the FAFSA. If you file it, if it opens in December and you file it December, that would be child support received in 2023. This is the last completed calendar year. But if you wait and file in January, then it would be child support received in 2024. These are super fun changes that we found out when the new FAFSA happened. So yes, last complete calendar year. Parent asset cash savings checking. They want to know the net worth of any businesses that you own and or any farms that you own. So net worth would be value minus debt. And they give you some guidance on that. Hopefully that doesn't apply to a lot of you, but net worth of business and or investment farms. Investments including real estate. So any other investments that you have, stocks, bonds, CDs, etc., they want to know there. What they do not want to know, do not include in your assets, is the value of your main home, the home you live in, or any retirement accounts. So real estate would be like if you own a rental property, etc., like or a vacation home, a second home, you would include that, but not your main home, not your IRAs, 401ks, those things. Okay, the two biggest assets that most people have do not go on the FAFSA. Questions about that? Cool. So once you get all of that information in this big report, the FAFSA, it will process. Now, we're hoping that it processes within a day or two of you filing. That was not the case this past year, but that is supposed to be the case. So you will get, the student will get notice that a FAFSA submission summary is available. It'll get emailed to you. Again, hopefully we're getting this about a week after your FAFSA is submitted. Last year it was a whole disaster, but hopefully this year it's about a week. Sometimes colleges might request additional information. So it could be, hey, we don't think you answered this question right because this reason, or hey, the government's making me request this information from you, or whatever. So we may request additional information from you once we get the results. If you have messed up, if you notice, hey, I put an extra 0 on that, or there's an extra digit, or I put my retirement account in even though Jamie told me not to, I did it anyway. You can make corrections at studentaid.gov. Theoretically. Hopefully right after, or hopefully after it processes. Corrections this year weren't available until June. That was the whole deal. Hopefully better this year. So once that FAFSA is processed, on it will be this big fun number, big, small, whatever, this number called SAI. So all of that information goes into this formula, and there's lots of steps and tables or whatever. So parent income, student assets, parent assets, household size, things like the age of the parents, all of this stuff goes into this big, crazy, complicated formula, and it spits out this number called the Student Aid Index, or what we call SAI. And it's basically just an evaluation of where you fit in on this scale of -1,500 to 9999999 of financial resources to be able to pay for colleges as compared to all of these other people that are filling out this form, right? The SAI is going to be the same at all institutions. So whether you're looking at Rhodes or Bluffton or Ohio State or Harvard or wherever, it's going to be the same at all schools. There are two components of the SAI, the parent contribution and the student contribution. And then colleges and universities use that SAI to award financial aid. Special circumstances. So these are things that you can't report on the FAFSA, but they're still happening, right? You need to tell me about it. Because the FAFSA pulls in tax information from 2023. You might say, Jamie, that information from 2023, I lost my job at the beginning of 2024, or I had to take a big pay cut, or this happened. And so you can talk to your school's financial aid office, and they can request information and make adjustments based on what your current financial picture is. Some examples, again, change in employment status. If you've got big medical expenses not covered by insurance, if there's been a change in the parent marital status, maybe you've got unusual dependent care expenses for a child or a parent. Sometimes students can't get their parental information. So again, make sure you're talking to your financial aid office. This is not an exhaustive list, but these are the most common examples. So you may find a college that will do a special circumstance in your particular case, and another college won't. So again, colleges kind of own that process, but again, if you think you have something that's unusual, talk to your aid office. All right, so getting away from the FAFSA and all of that stuff a little bit, cost of attendance is big in financial aid, and that's kind of, cost of attendance is what we say it should cost for a student to attend that school for that year. So cost of attendance includes what we call direct costs, or things that you're going to pay directly to the school. Think about tuition, fees, if you live on campus, your dorm, your meal plan. And then it also includes things that you don't necessarily pay to the school, but are expenses associated with you attending colleges. Things like gas to get there, books and supplies, personal expenses. I call some of this pizza, gas, and shampoo money, right? So you've got to have stuff to live in the dorm, right? This obviously is going to vary based on your institution, because we all charge different tuition and fees. Our housing and food is all different, all of that stuff. So how we determine financial need, each school is going to take their cost of attendance and then subtract their student aid index. Subtract your student aid index, that's financial need. Now, part of your financial need might be met by other financial assistance. So think right there, think of merit scholarship. So that determines your need-based eligibility. So I used to have a slide, and I don't know why it's not in here anymore. I'm going to have to recreate it. But it would compare 3 schools. So again, I say call it Rhodes, call it Ohio State main campus, and call it Ohio Northern, right? So if your cost of attendance, I'm going the wrong. I'll let you fix it. So if your cost of attendance, let's think about Rhodes. So let's say Rhodes' cost of attendance is $10,000, right? They're inexpensive, whatever. Your student aid index is $10,000. So 10,000 minus 10,000, you don't have any financial need at Rhodes, right? You might still get other scholarships and stuff, but you don't have financial need for need-based money at Rhodes. Now, let's say Ohio State main campus is $30,000, right? Their cost of attendance is $30,000. Your student aid index, the same at all school, is $10,000. So you've got $20,000 in financial need, right? Like they might give you a $5,000 scholarship, I don't know, so you would still have $15,000 in need-based eligibility. Now we think about Ohio Northern, and their cost of attendance is $60,000, right? So 60 minus 10, you've got $50,000 of financial need at Ohio Northern. Now they might give you a $30,000 scholarship, but you're still going to have $20,000 worth of need eligibility there. Does that make sense to everybody? I know it's a lot of words, but that's how financial need can be different from school to school. And then you see a big scholarship, but again, you still might have financial need. Okay. So types of financial aid that you might receive to help pay for the cost of attendance to help meet your financial need. There's 4 big main types of aid. So the first 2 are what we call gift aid, free money, right? Scholarships and grants. And then the last 2 are what we call self-help. So things that you have to do, you might have to pay back. So loans, obviously you have to pay those back. And then student employment, you have to work. So those are self-help. And again, scholarships, grants, loans, and student employment. Scholarships are generally from the college or university, outside sources. Now the state has the fund one, so that's new. So the Governor's Merit Scholarship from the state, so that's fun. But generally you're going to get those from your college or university and then outside sources. Grants, again, could be from the federal government, the state government, or your college or university. Could be outside sources, but most of them say scholarship instead of grant. Loans could be from the federal government. They could be from private loans from a bank, or they could be your college or university may offer loans. And then self-help, there's federal work study from the FAFSA, and or if you don't qualify for that, your campus may still have campus employment. We do it at Bluffton. So scholarships, again, money that doesn't have to be repaid. They're generally awarded on, you think about academic or merit scholarships, so your GPA and or test scores. Athletics, we think about people going D1 and getting that big athletic full-ride scholarship. Talent, skill, unique characteristics, so maybe esports, maybe you play in the band and you get a music scholarship, art portfolio, writing portfolio, something like that. Again, your high school guidance office, I know these 2 will talk to you lots about scholarships and deadlines and all of that stuff. Local organizations, foundations, clubs,